Thank you, Governor. It's a great honor to be here with you today and to be here with Mike, our next governor. And thank you, everyone, seniors, workers, for coming out today, because this is so important. The #1 issue in this election is jobs and the economy. We see it all across the state of Maine. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer, and the middle class is disappearing. And we need to stand up for these core middle class values like raising the minimum wage and protecting Social Security and equal pay for equal work. And on my walk across Maine, I met many Mainers who are really struggling right now. They feel like the country is on the wrong track. And I'll just share 2 stories that illustrate why it's so important that we elect Mike to the Blaine House and that we have working class leadership in Washington. I walked down through Millinocket. I saw the demolition crew tearing down the mill there. And I walked into Mattawamkeag. In Mattawamkeag, we had a town hall meeting, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I talked about the need to increase Social Security benefits for our seniors and to protect Social Security for the next generation, and to do so in a fiscally responsible way by scrapping the cap. And afterward, Phyllis came up to me and she said, I'm living solely on Social Security, and sometimes my check doesn't make it to the end of the month, and so I put off filling a prescription. She said, I haven't done home repairs in a long time. I figure my house won't fall down before I die. And I thought about that for a minute. 1 in 3 Maine seniors is depending solely on Social Security, and their checks aren't making it to the end of the month. They're having to make difficult choices between food and medicine. And if we were to increase benefits for people like Phyllis, she could hire a carpenter, someone like my dad. That would be money in the local community. It would have a powerful economic multiplier effect for our whole community. And I walked down from Mattawamkeag into Orono. We had a house party in Orono. And Molly drove 2 hours to be at that house party. And after I spoke about the need for student loan reform to fix the student debt crisis that now exceeds $1 trillion in this country, she told me that her debt burden is so high, despite being an in-state resident at the University of Maine, that she's decided she doesn't think she can afford to fulfill a lifelong dream of going to medical school and becoming a doctor because her debt is too high. And I walked down through Lewiston, where I met Diane, who's going to speak today. And I walked into Oxford County, and in Oxford County I told that story, and Claire raised her hand and she said, Colin and I are living here in Colin's parents' house. We both found work in Oxford County, but Colin is paying about 30% of his take-home pay to pay off his student loans. And so we can't afford to move out and buy a home of our own. Our young people are putting off major life decisions. They're living with their parents. They're not able to buy a home. They're not able to pay their debts because of a failure of leadership by Washington Republicans who are obstructing progress in Washington. And there are key differences in this race. We've already seen under Governor LePage what the Republicans do when they're in charge. The attacks on workers, the attacks on women, the attacks on our local communities. And in Washington, there have been opportunities for change, for forward movement on these issues. And my opponent, Republican Susan Collins, had an opportunity to vote to raise the wage to $10.10 an hour. And she voted with Washington Republicans against it. She had an opportunity to vote for equal pay, for equal work with the Paycheck Fairness Act. And she voted no twice. She had an opportunity to vote to expand affordable health care for Americans. And she voted against the Affordable Care Act, and she has co-sponsored a bill to repeal the Affordable Care Act. I will always stand up for workers. I will stand up for women because it's who I am. It's where I come from. I'm proud to be the daughter of a carpenter and a home health care nurse. And I'm running for the United States Senate because working people deserve a voice in Washington.
Yeah.